Good evening, traders, and welcome to another StockX post-market recap for April the 17th. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some insight on how to make sure you guys remember on key events that happened in the past. Okay, this is very crucial because what may have happened in the past can likely happen in the future. Not just with charts, but in key elements, knowing when the market's going to explode and so forth. Okay. So if you guys are watching for the very first time, in these market recaps, I basically go over what happened in the room, talk about the key trades we've taken, share a little bit about a little insight on what's to come moving forward, and give a little bit about my prediction. Okay. But before I start all that, I want to talk a little bit about what's going to be happening into tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow we have a very important earnings from Taiwan Semiconductor. Okay. So this earnings is probably going to be very important, probably because Taiwan Semiconductor has exposure to every chip manufacturer out there, right? And these chips play a major role in the S&P 500. If you look at the tech space alone and the entire heat map, you can pretty much see that a majority of the companies in the S&P 500 on the tech side are in this are in that space. So it can definitely impact the S&P 500. And another thing that's very important as well, we've been seeing a lot of semiconductors sell off in this recent week because of all the geopolitical risks, the inflation concerns with oil rising, and yields rising as well. So that's one of the key things. Now, I keep tabs on all my details here, primarily through my Discord and pretty much by using Notion, okay? So writing my notes is going to be a very important thing for me moving forward, and it's always important to have that detail here, okay? So if you guys are using Notion, it's a great tool to have a use as a calendar, like over here. I click this, have all my notes, because I can always refer to the past to understand, how the market was under this different circumstance. And it always helps you as a trader recall, basically how you did with your trades and what happened during in the market as well. Okay. So besides that, I want to refresh everyone to the last quarter for Taiwan Semiconductors. Okay. So I remember this picture perfect because, as you guys may already know, I share my weekly estimate in terms of my estimated weekly low and all of that. Okay. So my estimated weekly low for this week was at 50.20 here. That was definitely a strong support. There was only a moment here where you see a wick here where it actually broke below, but it pretty much retraced itself back up. Okay. That is very common. So technically, based on that, we are off by around 13 points or so from my estimated weekly low, but I will still consider that this level held. Now, when the Taiwan Semiconductor earnings happened last quarter, this happened the same exact way. If you guys seen my past content, where basically the market was at my estimated weekly low, Taiwan Semiconductor came, they basically guided up their revenue by 20%. Okay. So last quarter, they guided their revenue by 20%, and this is massive. Okay. Because now they can revise their guidance and probably even give a larger guidance. And if that's real, we're going to see a massive bounce here. And this part over here would be declared the bottom here. Okay. Now, for everyone that's watching for the very first time, I give my predictions all the time. Okay. If you guys see my last video for last week, I basically called out the bottom on SPX. Okay. Right on the money. So we were off by 13 points this week, but right on the money last week, I called out the S&P 500 to the T here. Okay. So if we go back down here, you can see that last week's bottom range was 51.10, and we seriously hit that on the money. So today we are off by so far 13 points, which isn't so bad for the margin of error. Okay, there's a way I calculate, and it's all has to do with the market makers hedging and so forth. Okay, so we got that little detail there here. Okay, today we've seen semiconductors all sell off. Pretty much Nvidia, SMCI, and so forth. But in today's daily level, so I give weekly numbers, but I also give daily numbers because as SPX has daily expirations. and those are going to be different every day. So we give daily levels for that, but we also have the weekly expirations as well, which we put into our calculations, and that's how we derive the weekly numbers that we provide here, okay? Now, for our daily SPX numbers, here's the numbers that I mentioned over here, okay? So not only did I potentially call a bottom for this week, but I called the pinpoint bottom of SPX here today, okay? Now, these are just my pivot points that you see over here, right? So like you can see that level 4, so level 3, there was a pivot point exactly matched, but all these other levels didn't. Level 4 was right over here, okay? So let's see if I remove my pivot points over here so it's easier to see. You can see here, level 4 was right over there, okay? At 5,008. Now, if you go over here, level 4, we gave that. There's no edit here. There's no way you can lie. This was given to 836. So we declare the bottom here, okay? Now, level 4 bearish is my extension of the bottom, okay? So level 3 and level 4 represents my bottom range, okay? And we call that right to the money on 5,008, okay? If you're not sure what these levels mean, if you guys look on my Discord, I give all these details here where I called out the past to bottom, and level 3 represents a market peak or the potential bottom. And there's level 4, which is usually the extension of that, okay? So we call the absolute bottom here, time-stamped, you know, just for your review, so that way you guys can see that little detail here, okay? Now, tomorrow, there's just retail sales from what I believe that's happening, but the biggest component that is for tomorrow is Taiwan Semiconductors, okay? So one thing that I was a little bit concerned by is that LRCX broke my level 4 bearish, but pretty much it's still above my estimated weekly low, okay? So for my weekly charts, I do give level 3, level 4 bearishes, but I also have a estimated weekly low, which it kind of helped, okay? It's very possible we can see LRCX hit 900, but if Taiwan Semiconductor earnings are good, I think it's possible that it could probably open around 960 or rocket to 960 and possibly close at around 983. So that's one of my predictions. If it is good, ASML reported their earnings already. This should have no impact as well. I mentioned here, so I gave this as well. My estimated weekly low for this was 900, and it bounced right off that. If you guys want the confirmation of that as well, numbers are reported in my analyst channel that we give here. Okay, so let's see. Boom, boom. You can see because all these stocks tend to always bounce off my key level. So we give estimated low 900. Boom. There you go. Okay. AMD so far broke my level 1 bearish. It kind of bounced off that at first, but went lower. ARM, we didn't give numbers for this week. Netflix has earnings this week as well too, though we didn't do that as well. But basically, Broadcom also stopped around my level 4 bearish as well, and that is moving. So we give a lot of pretty much confirmation of our key levels and what has broken and what hasn't. Okay, so Tesla right here. There's a proxy vote going on for Tesla, so be very cautious of this. The premiums on the downside are becoming very cheap here. The 150s were around 50 cents, but they're not adding a lot of value here, okay? So it's going to be hard for Tesla to break down below the lows here because this is a strong support area that I've declared between 150 and 144. Okay, so I think there might be a relatively pop here, so keep an eye on that. Also, another stock that we called out very well. I was so close to getting puts on my estimated weekly high for SMCI here, but the premiums were wild, right? So you can see stops off there, bounced off here, right? Pretty much this entire week, and now it's in our bullish chop range. So let's see if that holds moving forward here, okay? So tomorrow, my overall sentiment is that I'm pretty bullish. Okay, I believe that the market's gonna recover because Taiwan Semiconductor. Just keep in mind the wild card that we have into tomorrow has to do with the geopolitical risks with Iran and Israel. That's pretty much the fumes that the market's been selling off on. Higher oil prices are affecting market inflation. Powell, when he spoke yesterday, mentioned that inflation is becoming something that is not going down, and that is becoming a concern, right? He said inflation is resilient, and He basically changed his keywording, and the market is going lower because of it. Okay, so I think the market's gonna forget about it into tomorrow. So if there's no attack or any issues like that, and Taiwan Semiconductor is good, I think we should see a nice rip on SPX, where I think it could probably go back to my bullish recovery range at 51.50. So that's a huge difference, okay? Because in order to get there, you must first break this 50-day moving average at 51.08, which that has to break, and it looks like it could possibly retest the 200-day moving average, and you see that there's a death cross here on SPX, okay? So I mainly use premiums, but I use option premiums, the information I gather from that to reflect on my charts. So that's how I derive these levels. But you know, there's some technicality here because you see the 200-day and the 50-day MA here as well that I also include in my charts because those are very important numbers. So it's good to have those combinations of those both things here. And when multiple indicators kind of align, giving you the same hypothesis, that can definitely help you, you know, have some sort of credibility with whatever your thesis is. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys right now. Hope you guys learned a little bit about that. But always in this market trading, the key thing here is keep notes on everything, have a record of it, because it will always help you. Just because I remembered what happened in the past with Taiwan Semiconductor, the situation resembles exactly what I've seen in the past, and for that reason, that's why I'm bullish on SPX. Okay, but it was a great day trading overall. Let me give you guys a detailed summary of our spreadsheet here. Okay, so these are all trades that I have pretty much shown in the room. As you guys may know, I give my entries and exits, so you can see it here. Right, so it's all here, and we show everything here. So this is just a compiled version of having that. Okay, so great day overall. We definitely banked on SPX on both sides. If you guys been looking at my Twitter, upside, downside, I called it all perfectly, and it's sorry guys. If you check over here, one thing I want to final end off is so my Twitter feed is going to be my key thing here. Okay, so I mentioned here there was going to be a sell-off that's going to be beginning between 12 and 1. That sell-off happened. Okay, so that sell-off happened. I said, you know, use caution here between 1 to 2 o'clock. There could be a pump, and the pump happened exactly around my time here as well. So we called the bottom. It ripped during my time, and it went to a high of 50. 52 is where we definitely covered it. Okay, so and that's where the drop started happening again. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed my content. See you guys in the next one, and like always, let's get that money.